Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D-Train one more again. How you been? I had some cool ideas for a podcast, for a show earlier today, and I think I'm gonna do it, but not right now. This is a different thing. Hey, I gotta look at the words though. This is a cool song. I had somebody sing this week, and I was like, oh man, I wish I thought to sing it. I always sing these weird songs, man. It's like self-deprecating, but it's they're fun, it's loud. It's like a song that really I can't sing right now cuz it's like everybody's asleep. But if you ever get to sing check it out, go ahead and just blast it, right? My own worst enemy. Lit. Can we forget about Nah, I'm really not good. Here we go. Now I'm just gonna speak it. I'm gonna have to start over now. Shit. Can we forget about the things I said when I was drunk? Didn't mean to call you that. I can't remember what was said and what you threw at me. Please tell me, please tell me why. The car is on in the front yard, and I'm sleeping with my clothes on. Came in through the window last night, and you're gone, gone. It's no surprise to me. I am my own worst enemy. 'Cause every now and then I kick the living shit out of me. A smoke alarm is going off and there's a cigarette still burning. Please tell me why. The car is in the front yard and I'm sleeping with my clothes on. Oh man. And you know what played right after that I didn't even plan on was Green Day. You guess which song? Green Day. Basket Case. My own worst enemy in Basket Case. How about that? How about that? How does that one go? Oh yeah, that's the yeah. I don't know how to play that one. I didn't look up the chords on that. I really only played like three notes, I think. Okay, four. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, I'm getting better though. I'm getting better. Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up, and I think I'm cracking up. Am I just paranoid, or am I stoned? Yeah, that's the end of that D Train like music session. That's my practice. Hey, y'all can't impose on my practice time. This is the only time I get to practice. So I learned a new intro to a song. If I don't do it now, I might not do it. So yeah, so what's going on, man? Here's what was like the big news before, like it was like Sunday, right? So I was about to go into to work, and I checked the news, and the Tar Heels fired the football coach, and Fedora, and then they hired Mac Brown, and I was like, "What? The Mac is back!" Yo, man, I think I thought that first, but I'm pretty sure somebody else did. But that was kind of crazy because I remember when Mac Brown was the coach back in the day when I was at school, and I need to check something out real quick. When did yeah, yep, yep. Okay, so Mac Brown left for Texas back in like 1997, and Dean Smith retired in 1997, and yours truly, D Train, graduated in 1997. So there was a mass exodus of greatness that left that school at one time, man. I remember it, you know, Dean Smith, and then what's his name came in, the guy with the glasses, homeboy, been the right hand man forever. He coached for a few years. Those were some awesome teams. That was like, what was it, Stackhouse and all of them, and Vince Carter. I was back in them days, man. I think they were like freshmen or something, but no. I think Stackhouse was my year. Excuse me. Matter of fact, my freshman year, Greg Ellis was in my dorm. Greg Ellis, I think Jeff Saturday was in there too. He might have been a little bit older. I think I'm not sure. I think we were the same, similar, somewhere in there. But but yeah, man, I'm just saying, like, there was a lot of good talent back then. That was like what Natrone means. Remember Natrone means? John Linton, the Johnsons. You know, running backs. I swear, man, we had some good running backs. We had like was it Marcus Jones, played in Tampa Bay. I swear, dude. And even if when I go back to like high school, right, it's like there was some good talent. Bernardo Harris went to my high school, Chapel, right? One of my homeboys played at Wake Forest with Tim Duncan at and so I mean there's a lot of talent around there, man. And it's kind of crazy though because when when uh when Fedora came in, that was like his signature win against NC State, you know. Then he beat him again the next year. There's that Giovanni Bernard photo just running past. You know, that was and just like taking it to the house. That was like I think that was like the final, nail in the coffin at the end of the game, man, type thing. So that was huge when he came in. And I guess after all the news that's going on with the university, that can kind of put a damper on things too. So I can't really, I don't know. I don't know too much about football, like the inner workings, like if I watch the game, I'm just watching it, I could see different, things, but not like probably most of y'all knowing all the formations and, shit like that. Yeah, I'm just like watching. So it kind of, that's probably why I didn't play much when when I was in high school. I mean, I could catch, I could run the routes, but when I got in the game, it was like, okay, so what do I do? You know, I was more like a defensive guy, man. I like to play defense. You get to take the ball, you get to hit. I like to hit people um, on the football field. So that, I mean, you know, which is a contrast to me, and I guess everybody needs a little some kind of release of some sort in their lives in some form or another. And at that point, when I was 16, 17, 15, or whatever I was, that was it. Played a couple years and then bowed out. But yeah, man. So they brought Mac back, and so I'm just like thinking about, okay, I think it was on the no, he was doing well when he left here, I think, or was he? And then when he went to Texas, was it Texas A&M? I don't know. He was killing it. Vince Young was on his team. Those teams, man. And then I guess after so many years, things. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you need a refresher. I guess I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it ain't. But so then he took a few years off, and now he's back at Carolina. So I'm in North Carolina, and this is my alma mater. So I figured I'd bring that up a little bit. Anyway, then later on that night, you know what I mean? After I'm like packing up and stuff, right? I'm looking at the news because it's on, and it goes, the caravan breaches or the wall or the border or something like that. I might have seen something about some tear gas. I don't even know if they did that at that point, but basically they were trying to get in, man. And then the border people was just like, hell no, y'all ain't getting in. Said no. And then the other news that's on the TV all damn day, they talking like, oh, all the babies are getting tear gassed. That is against the law. You can't tear gas the people. Right. And when you look at the real video, it's like all these dudes and this one lady with a couple kids, no pants on. I mean, uh just to know what's going on, you know, some of the things that they're not really talking about. I mean, uh you know, that's crazy, man. Putting those kids in danger like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's not. I mean, it's not our fault. Shit, they the ones that came. But it's kind of shisty the way they trying to do that though. They trying to bum rush the show. It's over there escaping. Well, you know what? Y'all just walk this far. I mean, is your government that bad to where you could walk this far, but you can't walk to the damn Capitol and en masse like that? What's the capital of Honduras? Do they have that many Hondurans? If you got that many pissed off Hondurans, man, that's enough to make a little bit of blurb. You know, at least Alex Jones would talk about, hey, they marching on Honduras capital. What is it? I probably, from what I remember, the Honduran capital, I think I couldn't pronounce it really well. Tegucigalpa, or is that somewhere in Mexico? I have no clue. Sorry. Yeah, it's not my thing. Well, hell, now I'm gonna go look it up because I don't know, but because I'm curious. That's what you do when you don't know anything. You just like, oh, I don't know this. Why don't I go look it up with this little computer thing I have in my hand, or this MacBook? And then on Monday, right? President Trump, he had two rallies for Hyde Smith, and then they had the Tuesday election in Mississippi. Man, they were going all in on her, boy. They were like, "Yo, she said something about hanging." And, I the funny thing is that a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people don't aren't exposed to a lot of different sayings that they have in the South. You know what I'm saying? Now that particular one I hadn't heard, but I've heard a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like what the, you know what I'm saying? Um, one of them, one of them is like I don't know if if it's a Southern thing, but I've I've heard white people say so and so made a nigga move. It was just like I'm like, this mother, does he realize that he just you know? But now that although he said I understood what he was saying, um but this one I had no clue, but I'm just looking at the saying and what it could mean. What did she say? If he invited me to a public hanging, I'd be on the front row. That sounds like, I mean, basically, I mean, I'm just gonna guess. I'm gonna say it sounds like what that is like if this guy says something, then I'm gonna take his word for it. That's what it sounds like to me. Um, I know what the words imply. I know the imagery, but it sounds like if somebody is gonna if this person invited me to something so um dire, so serious, because they used to hang people back in the day. It wasn't just black people. It was, they hung like criminals too. So it was like that's the way they did it. But what gets played up the most when you think of hanging is black people because they did hang a lot of black people. But they hung um shit, man. They did crazier shit than that. You know what I mean? hanging is probably. I mean, damn. I'm just thinking of all the different ways I've I don't want to say research, but heard of like how different societies, kill their the ones they want to kill, the slaves, criminals, dissidents, whoever, right? You know, now they did some crazy shit in the South too, but uh, back to this saying, like just from the outside looking in, just thinking about what it could mean. If this guy who you may or may not know invited me, she's putting her credibility on the line, right? She's like, "Yo, dude, if he invited me to something, if he said, look, this is the guy, I know it." She's saying she would take his word because of her relationship with him, right? Like I would, that's and she would be on the front row because she's supporting his word that whatever it was, right? Now, yeah, the imagery sucks. I mean, it's like, oh, black people. What are you saying? All black people are criminal? No. Are you saying they'll, oh, well, the number of criminals they hung? Okay, all right, I get it. Um, Now, really and truly, I don't know anything about these people. I mean, hell, she could have been saying, yeah, hang them niggas. But just looking at the because again, I've heard sayings that were just like, huh, that's an interesting way to make that point. you know I mean, this is North Carolina, man. You like when I first got down here, I couldn't understand what people were saying. You know what I mean? It was like, now, even now, every once in a while I have to like, could you repeat that? Because I sincerely want to know what, someone's saying, if they're gonna, take the time to speak to greatness and want to get the great the great effect of being close to D Train. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be able to hear my words, but in order to hear the words, I want to know what I'm responding to, you know? So yeah, and then I'll ask them to spell it if I can't, can you spell that word? you know? And one time somebody was like they going to hunt some deer, and I was like, deer. Okay, I understand the first. Can you spell that for me? D A Ara dire. I'm like, oh dear. Okay. Okay, cool. Now from now on, I know when that guy says dire, he's talking about deer. You know, it's all about communication. Um, I'm pretty sure there are things that God knows that I don't know. That's the way I see it. But back when I was a kid, coming from Pennsylvania, I had a certain way of thinking of people, and I think that's the way think people thinks a lot of times when they come from the north about people in the south. It's just a thing, you know. And you say what you want about the education system. I actually went to, I went to a really really good high school. I went to, you know, school in the rural areas. Uh, Back in the 80s, and then so I've had had I've been on both sides, kind of like being kind of like a little bit um on the higher end academically, and then being somewhere in the middle academically because of the I guess I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the challenge. Um, the challenges were different. Um, I don't know, but you grow and you meet so many Southerners who know things that you just you just think of how I don't know industrious or resourceful, how resilient, you know, and all of that takes energy. It takes a certain kind of organization, energy, and experience. I mean, a lot of these kids have had experiences at an early age, um, as it pertains to just being around uh, situations where they got to figure it out or get out or get out of the way or be in some kind of danger where or some kind of situation where okay, you got to pay attention, you got to do things kind of methodically in this way, and then you kind of have to add your own artistic slant to it. But people get messed up, people get hurt, um but people bounce back, and they deal. That's the thing I like about being here around, my people. So I don't know how I got off on that jag, but what else happened? So then they trying to Jerome Corsi. They trying to get Jerome Corsi, and then Jerome wrote a book and was saying something, and then he's saying another thing like he's gonna like challenge the Mueller investigation. And then Alex Jones got pissed off and he start blabbing. Come on, AJ, man. Some stuff you just what I'm saying. Take a Stone is a wise man. Take his, follow his lead on that. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Follow his lead on that. Cause if you not getting information straight from him, you know, if you are, I don't know. I'm just saying, sometimes things can look funny in a book. Never know what happened, man. So yeah, just sit tight. You never know, man. That's all. And a lot of things that happen. The fires died down. They said, "Oh, rains are coming," but it couldn't, make some, mudslides. But shit, man, they needed some rain. Tamp down. They saying are they saying that somebody started that fire now? Looked like there was a satellite view of like I don't know, some kind of a projectile that just made a spark or something. It's kind of it's kind of crazy. So that's a lot of damage for a spark. Anyway, I'm gonna take a break and I'll be right back.